this particular tune, one of the biggest tunes in the country. Bless you, this is dedicated all to you, okay?
Peace, family, peace. We back up in this thing. That music was a peace offering to Teddy Pendergrass. That's a beat that I made to Teddy Pendergrass yesterday. I said some stuff about Teddy Pendergrass like he wasn't an ancestor, so I had to kind of redirect my energy towards Teddy because peace. Teddy Pendergrass is one of my influential spirit guides throughout my life. Even as a young child, I resonated deeply with Teddy Pendergrass. Like, my mom used to buy me Teddy Pendergrass records, Teddy Pendergrass tapes, CDs, and all of that. So it's just a fondness for Teddy. So we just played that song in honor of Teddy, and this is the Teddy that I love, the Teddy with the perm. You got to check that out. You probably ain't never seen Teddy without the beard and the perm. That's the Teddy that I like. This is the quintessential Teddy. But anyways, this is the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com. Today I want to talk about some money. If y'all know me, I'm not afraid to talk about money. I'm not afraid to, you know, spend money on people. I'm not afraid to receive money. Like, money is good. Money is a tool for exchange. And, you know, spiritual people, conscious people, they got a problem with money. And so I'm trying to give people a solution to money. This conversation might not be for the elite and my rich friends. This is for my people who having trouble with money and trying to bridge that gap between the life of brokenness and the life of prosperity. And so I'm gonna use some stuff that worked for me. And then, not to say that I'm rich, but my attitude about money is a lot different than how it used to be. And so for, like, you know, if you hit to these daily energy readings, every daily energy, I have like a information slide, like a background slide, like the meat of the message to give you something outside of astrology, outside of this build to get. I'm gonna give you a story related to this book. But if you want a book on really understanding bringing money into your life through ritual, through elements, through practice, a simple, easy, step-by-step way to manifest money magically, where you don't necessarily have to work hard to manifest this money. We actually are utilizing the element of Mercury. And so what I want to do, well, probably not going to talk about this, so let's talk about it now. Let's just break down Mercury. Today is Wednesday. Today is Mercury's day. Today is Odin's Day. And so all of these words, they represent something that a human being could embody. When you deal with Mercury, you're dealing with Roman Interpretatio. Roman Interpretatio is a list of gods that actually exist, that people worshiped, that were actually working for people, that the Roman culture usurped and made their own. Mercury is a god that exists before the Roman Empire or the Roman country or Romulus and Remus and Rome, like all of that. Mercury has existed before that, and then before that, and then before that, because Mercury represents the economy. It represents commerce. It represents trade. And so to understand how important a god of trade is to ancient people, you have to understand a group of isolated tribes connecting with each other. And so I find us now today to be in an ancient mindset based upon technology, where it's like a technological savagery that exists in the world that keeps us isolated, that keeps us disconnected, that keeps us away from Mercury, the energy, or the energy of Merx. Merx is an Etruscan deity, where it's more of a melanated deity. It's more of a connected deity. Even further, a deity that would be good to work with is Ishu. Ishu is Mercury. So what we're talking about is primordial energy that connects you to your financial gain, that connects you to commerce, that connects you to trade. Because that's what money is. It's, I have something and I want to sell it. Simply, if we were born on the idea of Ed McMahon and Publishers Clearinghouse, then, or watching the lottery, watching our grandmothers play the lottery, then that's not necessarily the idea of money in the context of life. You know, real life money is made through commerce and trade. So that's why I encourage people who have businesses, that have products, that have services, to email me, talk to me, because I'll talk about your stuff, because I truly believe in selling. I truly believe in getting, you know, what you have within you out to the public. And the problem is people don't know. And so this is what we're trying to do, raise awareness of commerce and trade within the community, get us out of our homes, from our isolated states, and get us out into the world selling our wares, working with the god of Mercury. And so Mercury is a bridge between the upper and lower worlds within ourselves. Mercury is a deep connection to our wealth. And so this book came into my life when I had absolutely no money, like $0. Like, I just moved to Columbus, Ohio, and I don't know, I didn't know anybody. I was looking for work. I just came out of a traumatic experience where I was just like, I was homeless, and then I had like no clothes. Like, my girlfriend at the time, she sold all of my clothes for money, so I had literally no clothes, no money. All I had was a car. And so I was like, I didn't know what to do, because this was at a point in time in my life where nobody was helping me like they had used to, because I was always enabled as a child and into, you know, adulthood, enabled. And so around this time, people had stopped enabling me, stopped giving me a hand. And so I had to really find what I was gonna get within myself. And so lo and behold, I ended up at the downtown Columbus Public Library in the occult section, section 133. All my card catalog people feel me when I say that. But yeah, so I come across this book, Money Magic. I check it out, And so I'm just downstairs in the basement reading, because at this time I was living with my aunt in the basement, and she gave me 30 days. We was on like day 28, and I was working at this job. But the problem with this job is that I needed energy to work, because it was very challenging and I had no money. And so I was at a real crossroads with, I needed to manifest some money like bad, and I did not know how. So I just figured I couldn't ask anybody. So I figured, let me try this magic stuff and see how it works. And so I got the Money Magic book. And then I went through the processes of it. Like the first chapter, he gets straight into the first chapter is straight work, like work. And you got to know what to do, when to do it, and you try it and see how it works out. And so I did it. And this is very subtle. This is very, I'm going to tell y'all what manifested for me. And y'all going to be like, this nigga crazy. But to me, this impacted my psyche so deeply that like I felt empowered to the point where I literally have never worried from this point. And y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but mind you, I had no money. I do the ritual, like the opening of the book is like a, just to get you warmed up to what the book is about. So we come straight off with a ritual, boom. So that night I do it, or no, I do it in the morning before I leave to walk to work. I gotta walk like 3 miles to work. I don't even have enough money to catch the bus. So I do it. Like you open up the four directions, and with the pinnacle, and you imbue the power of Mercury, and da 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 da. You got to read the book to understand what I'm talking about. So I do it, leave the house, walking down the street, walking down the street, and lo and behold, it's literally some cash over in some people's driveway in the grass. I said, oh my God. I ran over there so quick, I snatched it up. It was probably like $26. But it was some money to get me some lunch. And I remember what I got. I went to Burger King. I got me a rodeo cheeseburger, and don't judge me, a rodeo cheeseburger and something else. They had another burger for $1.99, and I budgeted that money out, but I never stopped doing those rituals. And so even today, I'm still doing those rituals. I'm still ritualizing myself. I'm still utilizing my Mercury. And I don't necessarily worry about money. I worry about my Mercury's alignment. Where is my Mercury at? Because my Mercury is my connection. So Mercury is the mind. Mercury is the intellect. So let me just give you a deeper understanding of that, so it doesn't confuse you when I say the intellect. The intellect is not you. The intellect is something that you could put into something, and you can put intellect into anything. You can learn anything. You can put your mind towards anything. And so the problem with people that I know that struggle with money, they put their mind into lack. They put their mind into struggle. They put their mind into the things that hurt them. They put their mind into the fact that they don't got nothing, that they don't have, like, you know. And then I know people who, they don't never do shit besides put their mind into wealthy, money mindful situations. See, this is the intellect. The intellect is like Mercury, the actual, it's Quicksilver. It could be whatever you need it to be at that particular point in time. And so we have to awaken our intellect. We have to abstract our intellect. And if you want money, then put your mind on money. If you want money and your mind is on the fact that you broke, that's your abstracted Mercury being, it's like your kid playing somewhere that you don't want him to play. And you trying to tell your kid, don't go down there and play with Rollo's ass, because I know Rollo's daddy, and so don't go down there and play with Rollo. Your kid, he don't listen to you. He don't think you know shit. And then some shit happen where, you know, some shit happen. Your son come back crying. Ooh, happened on at Rollo's house? Like, I told you not to go down to Rollo's house. And so that's what I'm trying to do with people in their lack. It's like, I'm afraid of something, Hood Mystic. You need to get your mind ordered to something positive. Go out into nature. Go to a museum. I mean, watch a good ass movie. Binge watch some shit. Because when you don't have money, the last thing you should do is stress on the fact that you don't have money. You need to get your mind. And so I say that to say that once I put my mind into the ritual and I took my mind off the fact that I had no money, because you got to imagine a person that is slightly OCD, if you could by this channel, whatever I put my mind in, that's what I'm gonna focus in. So imagine the hell that I created for myself when I put my mind into negative spaces. And so today we're going to be talking about astrologically learning triangle. And so if you all could look at me where Mercury and the sun is at in Libra, that energy is trine Mars in Aquarius, which then is coming down to square Uranus in Taurus, and then Uranus in Taurus is in conjunct back again to the sun, Mercury, and Libra. And we have discussed in these previous 2 days the sun in the first decan of Libra and the Mars in the first decan of Aquarius. And so now we take this energy, the energy of pronoia, the energy of intimating, right? We've just like it feels like a long journey, but it's only been 2 days. But we've gotten so far. The next step is now realizing that spiritual power is always available. Spiritual power is always available. And if you don't feel like that, then you have to have this realization first and foremost. You have to realize that you can create fire. You have to realize that energy exists. You have to realize that within you exists potential energy. And the goal is to take that potential energy and turn it into kinetic energy. So I said, if you are breathing, there is a chance that, you know, some good things can happen. But you need to begin to cultivate and deal with your energy. And this is not the channel where we're going to deal with our energy and cultivate our energy in one day. This is not the money magic. And when we speak of money magic, this is not no hard work. The hardest work that you have in manifesting money is reading this book and taking this book seriously and then doing the ritual, how it resonates with you. Or not even simply reading this book, simply putting your mind towards increasing your wealth. If you put your mind towards increasing your wealth, then so be it, your wealth has to increase. Do you understand that you're not putting your mind there? Like I said, this video is not for the people. If you just now joining on the live, this is not for my rich folk. Cause I got a beef with y'all rich folk anyway, cause y'all don't be wanting to tell nobody shit. Y'all just want to stunt and brag and take trips out to Dubai and shit. I want to go to Dubai too, and I want to learn how. So, the offer still stands. Whoever got the trips to Dubai, whoever got the trips to New Orleans, we need to build. Because this money thing is not something that I feel like I'm an expert on. This money thing is something that I want to learn. But I'm telling you, I was at level 0 at a certain point, and at least I'm at a level 0.5 at this point where I can manifest a few coins for myself if I need to. But now I'm trying to take it to the next level. I'm trying to have some accountability. I'm trying to take it to where my money can combine with somebody else's money. So, and we could just, you know, pull off of each other's money and grow more money from that. And, you know, this is where my mind is at. This is where I'm putting my energy at. Like, I read the Robert's Rules of Orders. Like, I only see myself on a corporate board making major boss move decisions. I don't even think of myself as being no independent hustling ass nigga no more. So it's all about where you put your mind at. I don't know, man. It's just a constant build. And so if we're gonna deal with this, sun conjunct Mercury, trine Mars, then we're dealing with the concept that one of our greatest poets of our generation, of the African American diaspora in America, when this great poet laureate said these profound words, we all should have stood in amazement at the profundity of his expression. When the great Calvin Broadus, aka Snoop Dogg, aka Snoop Lion, said, I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind, that nigga deserved a statue for that. Because that is profound. Having your mind on your money, oh my God. And then your money is on your mind. Like correspondence. And so a lot of times we put our mind on some bullshit and the bullshit comes back to your mind, nigga. So remember this concept moving forward and really utilizing this energy, because when you break down this word, Mercury, Odin, Ishu, Loki, all of these words, the etymological root basis to these words, because generally when you talk about a deity, you're speaking about a force or a force of nature, something natural phenomenon that you want to personify. But when you talk about Mercury, there is no force of nature that you need to personify. There is a physical human embodiment of commerce. Literal magic of connecting your tribe to other tribes. And doing this, whoever did this the most was the most popping. It wasn't about who had the most Instagram followers or none of that shit. It was about who had the most connections. And so, really get yourself into your ancient way of thinking and get yourself outside of the way that you've been programmed to think. That the more people fuck with you online, but you ain't making no real connections terrestrially. Like, these niggas don't even got your phone number for real. Say, for instance, Facebook collapse as an application, then all of your... you don't know nobody. Shit. Instagram collapse, you don't know nobody. So it's all about realizing that this is a deeper thing than just being a popping person unto yourself. It's all about connecting. And so when we deal with Mars square Uranus, is the acceptance of the changes that are happening. Because when you deal with a square, you're dealing with an irreconcilability. You're dealing with something that you can't... When you deal with the Uranus square, you're dealing with something that is drastic that you can't go reset. You can't take a step back. It's over. It just is what it is. It's final. You can't rewind it. So keeping this all in mind, where's your... Oh, this is deep. As I talk and think at the same time, right? Like, damn, some shit happened, right? Some crazy shit. Some shit you can't even talk about. But then this is where your mind at. But then you got people in your waking life, you not even utilizing your mind. Your mind is fixated on the event or the impact or this crazy shit that's happened. And you not even focused at where you're at today. So let me suggest to the family to be present and remember that their mind is not them. If your mind is somewhere, you need to get that mind somewhere that you need it to be. And you really need to factor in the events that have happened in your life that have triggered something that you're looking at, you know, something that you can't get over, you know, because even though some shit is happening, that's what's supposed to happen. The problem is you're thinking that shit was supposed to stay the same the whole time. And it's like, can you really stay connected to what you want when shit happens? Or was your proclamation, your declaration to yourself purely conditional? I practice this in my relationship. I don't practice conditional love with my wife. I try to challenge myself in my relationship. I try to have the conversations that I'm insecure about, have the stuff that I'm fearful about. Me and my wife, we go maybe a week without addressing some shit, and when we address some shit, it gets very intense. You know, but it's transformative because this person is getting a chance to know me, and I'm getting a chance to know her. And because so many times in my relationships, I felt like we both were trying to give each other what each other wanted. In this relationship, we are expressing our true selves. And with that, we have to accept a lot of change and still be connected to ourselves. If I'm going to be connected to myself in such a way, in a strong way, then if my wife does something 180, I can't let that disrupt this connection to self. And this is what I see in a lot of relationships. It's like I don't really have a connection to self. I only have a connection to this person. And this could affect your money too, especially if you connected to a person that's a provider. See, all of these things, all of these mind control things to get you outside of your energy, you got to question, ladies and men. Because I know men who work hard to be a good person to women, but they have not developed what it means to be a good person to themselves. I know women who are trying to be a good woman in a relationship, but she has no idea what it means to be a good relation to her, have a good relationship with herself. And this is all Mercury. This is all about establishing a connection to the divine and it manifesting into something. And so Uranus in conjunct Mercury is still this concept of change, and we're bringing it back. And hopefully we start off with I have money problems, said Mystic. And then we go through what's working for you, the trine, and then we go through what's blocking you, the square, and then we try to bring it home with the in conjunction. The in conjunction means a misunderstanding. So with all misunderstandings, if I could get to an understanding, then we're good. So if we can understand that the changes that are happening does not disrupt the fact that we are deeply connected to self. This is, and I highlighted at 2 p.m. Mercury goes into the 8th degree of Libra. I study Sabian symbols. Each degree has a particular symbol. If you want to get like every time, if I need to get very direct in the message and what I need to say today. The 8th degree mark is a deserted home with the fire blazing. It's always like these weird abstract symbols that you got to kind of decode in your mind. And so this is how I get to the point that this is a deserted home, but the fire is still blazing. This is the 8th degree of Libra. And this is an air sign, and Mercury is air. This is intellect, air. So you may have an empty home, but that fire is still blazing, meaning that the spiritual power is always available. The world changing does not mean that you are disconnected, brother. The world changing does not mean that you are disconnected, sister. Trump does not mean that you ain't about to get your money right. Like you have to really understand what they are doing. And then, even if you're not the one that's watching the TV, but you fucking with the people that's watching the TV and they absorbing this fear and you absorbing their energy, you just have to really be clear. What you can manifest and what this world is totally up to you and totally up to your programming. We discussed this a while back, but when I told like people that there's 2 worlds going on. There is a world that there is a creative spiritual world, and there is a world where there's like mindless zombie world. And what world do you want to be in? You know, this is the Hermit, and people hate the Hermit because they think that they like, oh, I'm in my hermit mode. I'm in my hermit mode. Like it's a bad thing, but that's not hermit mode. Hermit is a mature being. Hermit is a person who's looked at life. It's like, you a hermit because you don't want to come out to the club with me, but you got to look at from the hermit's perspective. It ain't shit in the club for me right now. Like, I'd rather be studying or doing something worthwhile with my time. And of course people are gonna judge me, but literally I'm raising my kundalini. I'm getting to know myself. So you could call me what you want, but if you give me something productive or something valuable to do, I'm willing to do that. But you got me wanting to go to the club and shit. I don't want to go. Call me what you want, but I know what I want. The Prince of Cups. Focus game is crazy, but that's why we got him over here, so you can kind of look at him clearly. But the Princess of Cups is like being stuck in the middle. The Princess of Cups is like a young lady, right? An emotional young lady. So let's really take a step back to some shit like an 8-year-old girl and her emotional desires, right? And then bringing them up to your grown 8-year-old ass, like still with that 8-year-old mentality and not being able to fully express yourself because you really got some daddy issues. And it's not for just simply women, because this is for men. You really got some mom issues. You really, like, men and women have daddy issues. We really expect our parents to placate our needs. But they did that. If you a grown-ass person, like, they gave you all the bottles that you needed. They gave you all the Pampers that you needed. Now it's your responsibility. And so if you look at the turtle that is coming out of her shell, going into the fish, and then eventually becoming a bird. So really transforming that childlike energy to a more overall perspective, and not letting, you know, medial experiences defined you. Medial meaning being stuck in the middle, being in a fenced area. And so we want you to get out of yourself. We want you to expand your horizons and get out of that shell and stop being triggered and shit. You know, it's hard to talk to certain women when they have an emotional built up frequency to, you know, abstract information. You know what I'm saying? Like, they will, like, literally threaten you with their friendship if you say something that they don't agree with, you know, and that's kind of childish. But it's important that we get beyond relating to each other with the feelings of being triggered. And that's really a point. If we're not fully addressing the shit that are childlike shit, like beyond all deep shit, whatever the case may be, or some real one-to-one me and you shit, like, if you got childhood trauma, you gotta address that shit. You shouldn't even be in a relationship if you got real life childhood trauma, because you projecting some foul shit on your partner that your partner don't got shit to do with, or you single and isolated based upon an 8-year-old child. So this is something that needs to be fully dealt with, because it's showing up in your relationships today and you don't even know where it's coming from. Inner child shit is hugely important to conscious development. And so this is really what we speaking to. Success, putting your mind towards what you want versus what you don't. That's success. Like, you can be successful right now. Like, if you overweight, you instantly successful when you start to do things that lose weight. You not successful when you doing things counteractive to the fact that you know that you're overweight. Like, I've lost 3 pounds. I'm trying to lose 50, but I feel successful, and I'm gonna just keep trying to lose pounds. It is not because I'm losing weight. It's because I'm actually doing this shit to lose weight, though. I'm actually watching what I'm eating. I'm actually drinking more. I'm actually working out. Like, I'm doing shit to lose weight, and so I'm losing weight, so that's a success to me. And really getting to a point of the Ace of Wands and really understanding this as a concept, because we talk about this at least once a week. It always pops up. It always wants to let the people know that if you ain't doing shit for passion, then you ain't doing shit. Oh my God, that is so profound, ain't it? Oh, that like that is profound as hell. If you ain't doing shit for passion, you ain't doing shit. Ooh, you doing shit for obligation. Try again. Oh my God, get some passion in your life. Develop some passion. Get in touch with your feelings. Do some stuff that you like versus what you logically think is right or wrong. If you like it, then it's right. At this point, it's 2018. You have to begin to stretch these boundaries, because there ain't no damn boundaries. What you mean stretch some boundaries? Like, what you mean force or try to walk and try to cross boundaries when it ain't no boundaries, when it's a collective consciousness, when it is all an ocean? This ego individual illusion that we're obsessed with. Wow. Lust is like this, man. Straight up and down, son. You can't want something without risking something. Like that sex that you want, like, since we using the word lust, like, so imagine it in a sexual context. Like, somebody had to take a risk. Somebody had to, like, slide the number, slide the DMs. Like, somebody had to come up out of their everyday, normal, everyday shit and be like, you know what? We should hook up a little later. We should really get something popping. And then it's like, yeah, we should. Because I've been thinking about the same thing. But see, if you don't take that risk, you stay in a state where you disconnected and probably controlled by the media. Getting outside of yourself. Getting outside of yourself is also coming into yourself at the same time. I love how these cards came back together. Lust in the universe. I think these cards really work together very well. Because going outside of yourself is also going deep within inside of yourself, like that naked part of you, like that sensual truth, eros, real energy. You not tapping into that, you showing up to the world all like you're not your real self, and then you trying to figure out what's wrong. Well, you haven't figured it out. You haven't figured yourself out. And two, you haven't projected yourself from the truth. When you project yourself from truth, then everything works out. Everything is perfect. Everything is magical. And that's just from my experience. And I hope that this message resonated with the family. This is something that we do every day. So, you know, I want you to know that if you saying to me, Hood Mystic, I'm broke, I'm gonna tell you, you damn right you broke. It ain't shit you can do about that. Being broke. Why is your mind in that broke space, my nigga, though? And this is the next frontier. This is oh, so you mean I gotta get my mind out of the concept of being broke and get my mind in the concept of being wealthy? Exactly. Oh, now we cooking with fish grease. And you know, a lot of times people will talk, and I did this on Wednesday. I did this for Mercury because you're gonna have a lot of internet scholars and a lot of people who talk about Thursday is money day and all of that. But there is no etymological proof or reference to that concept. That is simply a misunderstanding of esoteric science. So hopefully today I kind of explained some deeper concepts and made it interesting enough for you to want to pay attention to yourself, which is kind of ironic, but this is what needs to be done. This needs to be calculated. This needs to be approached daily, and we need to build on this daily. We need to connect with each other daily. We can't be trying to be popping and try to worry about scheduling shit when people going through shit at every moment. It should be conscious shit happening, magical shit happening at every moment, because at every moment is an opportunity for us to make real changes and real magical occurrences in our lives. And so constantly keeping our mind in the magical state is how we're going to get there. Constantly keeping our mind in this wealth-like state, holding that wealth vibration for more than watching a 10-minute video on YouTube, and then your vibration and your mentality goes into how much you hate living where you living. But for that 5 minutes you was watching that video, you felt good, and you thought that by watching that video for 5 minutes you was gonna manifest some shit. No. Put your mind in there for longer than 5 minutes. Put your mind in there all fucking day. You feel me? And sometimes I gotta curse to you because you don't even understand it no other type of way. I wish I didn't have to curse to you, but you know, y'all used to that right now. So it's like getting each other out of this mind control and kind of shifting us to something else is very important for the collective. So hopefully this message resonated with you. If you need to contact me, you can contact the links in the descriptions, and everything to how to get to me is going to be below. So I just really hope that this message resonated with you. So yeah, peace.